Hello?
Hi, it's Lydia.
Welcome to The Goal is to Eat, the talk show where visionaries in the world of taste share what it means to feel full. Today, the inimitable Lydia Pang, co-founder of strategy agency MØRNING and production studio Evening, and the author of part memoir, part cookbook Eat Bitter, sits on the Togo. So I've been a fan of MØRNING ever since you guys started and a fan of your work for a very long time. And I think what's so excellent about MØRNING is that it's a manifesto as well as a business, and be less shit is your tagline. And I'd really like to know what it is that keeps you motivated to always be on the kind of cutting edge of things and to know about stuff or to put things out there before anyone else does, picking up on patterns and other things. What is it that keeps that momentum going?
To be honest, it kind of is a few things. So MØRNING was born out of, I suppose, a frustration with the industry, with brands. And so I think irritation can breed a lot of creativity and motivation. And so feeling so fed up and disgruntled with my job, corporate creativity, agencies, it kind of felt like MØRNING was an experiment in can you have a philosophy? Can you treat people well, pay them well, and prioritize creativity and make money? Can that happen essentially? And so I think because the stakes were so low and creativity and the philosophy was so much the priority, we set that precedent from the start and then proved that actually that can make a really amazing business. If you hold your own, you lead with taste and guts and instinct, and you actually, commerciality will almost follow, because people there's an alluring light about that type of confidence, an agency that won't just bend to any client and fix any problem, but rather question why is that a problem? Do you even need an Instagram account? Do you need to be doing that? Should you exist? It's a little nihilistic and a little existential, but I think actually the creative industry needs that.
Yeah.
It needs that mirror held up to it. And MØRNING was born out of COVID. Think about the way that brands were posting black squares and feeling like they were vessels for social justice. It was all a bit gross.
Yeah.
And so I think MØRNING had this amazing awareness of our responsibility as brands and marketers, but also this kind of seething loathing for our industry and the way it co-opts culture.
Yeah.
So because of that, I feel like MØRNING now is this gorgeous living, breathing thing with limbs, and everyone that works at MØRNING is so hungry and curious to understand culture and contribute to it.
Yeah.
And so there's this energy and hunger inside the company, which actually, to be honest, is my biggest, it's my most proud thing.
Yeah,
the
amazing.
fact that it's profitable and successful and we work with huge clients is lovely.
Yeah.
But honestly, the thing that makes me feel so proud is that kind of legacy that people want to work there because they know they'll be paid to be curious.
Yeah. Yeah, so an ecosystem
it
that
is.
You've created. And
it is.
With Evening that has just launched, which is now your production arm, you kind of keep developing new ways of speaking to audiences through brands while also producing your own content. You have publications, magazines, and then your book as well, in some ways.
I mean, building IP, I think, is the most important thing a brand can do. And if you're philosophy driven, that is key. You can be a service industry, you can be a service or a consultant, and that's great. But I think the way to lead and show clients what to do is to put your money where your mouth is and publish things. Produce, exactly. And so that is a really big part of the business. And Evening actually was because, so MØRNING we do a lot of strategy and trend forecasting, and then we would sort of hand it off to other people and just kind of watch it get ruined. And so with Evening we were let's do it all. And it's kind of cool because Evening births digital artifacts. So it's less about, we produce shoots or we produce websites. It's not really about that. The medium will always shift with culture. And so something that I love is that MØRNING and Evening very much embraces that mediums are transient. It will be what it is right now and probably different next year. But that's why it's so key, I think, that it's underpinned by a philosophy, because that will have longevity.
And it will always matter to be less shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was born out of a need or a yearning for incremental change.
Yeah.
But with a bit British attitude to it.
Yeah, I love that. Just that kind of rebelliousness as well, but intellectual rebellion.
Yeah, and an understanding that we're not saving the world. It's just branding.
Yeah.
It's not that deep.
No. But it can do better.
It can do better.
Yeah.
And now, of course, everybody's discipline has a responsibility to do a bit better. Yeah. But it's high stakes to ask people to be a beacon of hope or to fix the world. And so I think there's something really calming about Be Less Shit, because it's just incremental, iterative responsibility, and I feel like that feels doable.
Yeah, bite-sized.
It does. I'm like, you can be slightly less shit. You can.
Yeah. Thinking about IP and thinking about what you're building for yourself, you've got Eat Bitter, which is this part youth memoir telling the story of growing up and getting to this stage in your life through recipes, through your own culture, and using the hacker idiom Eat Bitter as the kind of guiding manifesto in that as well. How do you see that those philosophies end up kind of matching up and taking something from a creative project to a commercial project? Eat Bitter started as a zine, it is now a book and something that you've been working on and with for 6 years. So how do you keep that energy going to make sure that you stay motivated?
I think it's one of those things where if the idea is good, it should be able to stew and marinate and deepen with significance. And I think Eat Bitter is one of those things, like I did it as a zine, it was like a project, honestly, because I was feeling a little... I don't know, I was feeling a bit numb at work. Like I was like doing really well at my job. It was almost like the better I did, the less creative I felt. And so it was kind of like a weekend project, something fun to do with my husband. Like we were like, let's make a zine, it'll be cute to design it together. And then it gained this like clarity and significance because 2020 was such a transformative year for identity, especially in the wake of like George Floyd, Asian hate, COVID. Like there was so much happening that crystallized the importance of sharing stories, especially hack our identity. I feel like it's such a random like diasporic group of like Chinese people that people don't really know about Hakka folk. And so that nuance and specificity I wanted to like capture in the zine. So yeah, you're right. It was born out of something very pure. Like I wanted to connect with my family, capture our culture, do a cool design project. But I think when you put something out in the world like that, the intention is purely just to connect with other people. Often those are the most potent expressions of ourselves, like creatively. And I think because it wasn't driven by commerciality, it resonated beyond me. And then it felt like once Penguin picked it up and wanted to make it into a book, I felt like, well, I suppose I have a responsibility now to make this really good and to like take it to the next level. So to answer your question around momentum, it sort of started running without me. And I actually had like many moments during the project when I was writing it, because it takes years to write a book. And I'm a digital marketer. I'm like, get things out in a week. So it was quite hard for me to have that staying power, but it did push me to keep deepening its like relevance. Like how am I grounding it in the context of today? How am I pushing myself to be a better writer? And honestly, like it's probably the most like profound and prolific thing I've made because it's so personal and ugly. Like I had to record my audiobook last week and I was reading it and I was like jarred by its frankness. And then I was like, oh wait, that's me. That's I'm talking about things that, it's almost like I wrote hormonally because I was pregnant without any like without any thought that someone might read it. And I actually think those expressions now are so few and far between where people sort of like self-construct and edit. I'm actually really proud of how like sort of unapologetic it is.
100%.
And so I think the concept deepened, and I think I had to keep constantly resurrecting my energy on it.
And finding new ways of being excited about it. But I guess each chapter is kind of a life phase as well.
It is.
And being able to get all the way back there to remember things, to maybe, I don't know how good your memory is.
Yeah, weirdly, actually, I didn't have to like excavate any of that. It very much like fell out. I think as well, like when you have like wounds, I think it's like they become like leaky and you almost need to like purge certain memories or reflections. And I think that's why journaling can be so cathartic for people. And so actually it became quite cathartic. You know, I'd experienced quite a lot of pain during those years, like, you know, lots of fertility struggles and losses and like that, and like, you know, burnout and starting my own company and it doing well, but me burning out, me trying to get pregnant, me losing babies. Like it was such a hard few years alongside writing the book. I actually think all of that ugly that I was very much embodying ended up like making it like way better, because I just was like, I spilt my guts. And like I read it now and I'm very like I'm very happy now and settled, and I feel like, wow, what an amazing time capsule of a really raw version of me.
because I think we say this about books, that they take so long to build, but then they are a moment in time.
They are.
And that's what's so special about them. So much goes into them, and then they just exist.
And I'm okay with that. Like, there's this beautiful Michelle Zana, Crying in H Mart author.
Yes.
She wrote this, she was interviewed, and she said something like, I read that book now, and I'm happy, and I surrender to the fact that that was me then, and that's fine. It was a moment in time. And she sort of like has like peace and ease with it. And I feel like that when I read it back, or when I think about it going out in a couple of weeks, instead of feeling like slightly cringe, which I've definitely oscillated between, I actually feel like good for her.
Yeah.
She, you know, she had a rough time and she wrote that, like, good for her.
Yeah.
And actually the amount that I grew as a writer during that process was like a gift. Like what a creative gift to keep growing and be pushed.
Yeah. I was going to say, to be cringe is to be free. I'm
Yes,
pretty sure
aligned.
Mourning is always
aligned.
is always saying
We do
that
say that a lot.
And also, you use so many kind of eating vocabulary in the book, and I just absolutely love it. There's some that I was like, oh my god, there's so many words that I haven't ever thought about.
Ridiculous turns of phrase.
Chewiness, all of these things about sweetness. Just it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Really beautiful. So to quote your book, you say, to feel truly full, we must seek the slow and enduring. And I wanted to ask you about how you actually have been able to take pause and have patience with yourself and find that self-compassion that you're talking about. We all need to have a bit more of.
I think it's through like a lot of like simple acts. Like I talk about this a lot in the book, like cooking, connecting with like fundamentals. And it's actually one of the reasons why I'm glad I live in Wales. I resisted it for years. I was like coming from like New York and London. I was like, I don't want to live in fucking Wales. Like I grew up here. I want to leave here. But actually Wales forces me. It forces me to think about the fundamentals, like cooking, our garden, being with family, and like that. I don't know. There's something about its simplicity that resets me. And I felt that I would lose relevancy being far away from culture, but actually I have such a sharp, intentional eye now for what I want to consume, who I want to talk to, that there's like an intentionality that's like come from that. But honestly, I don't, even though I've just written a whole book about simmering and surrendering, I'm not great at it. Like I don't think it's a thing that can be achieved or bought or
work in progress.
It kind of is, and by nature it's supposed to be like that. It's funny because there's so much synergy between Be Less Shit and The World I Built There and Eat Bitter, because those two, I kind of just keep saying the same thing in different wigs. Like Eat Bitter is very much about like this slow crumbling of the self, and how that like surrender is really powerful. And also, to be honest, like Be Less Shit is about like the iterative state. And kind of like a forgiveness that we're all flawed and gross. And I feel like once you acknowledge that you are never going to be like calm, moisturized, surrendered, beautiful, like in your zone
all at the same time,
or potentially ever, there is this like comfort in that fallibility, I think. You kind of just meet yourself where you're at then. And I feel very like that, having just given birth literally like 6 months ago. I feel very like aware of where I'm at, and for the first time probably, because I'm an obsessive striver, very like cozy with that. I'm kind of just like calmly here.
It's like acceptance.
Yeah, it kind of is. And maybe that's also age. And having ticked off a lot of things. Like I'm not naive to the fact that, you know, I was like such a overly ambitious, like greedy person. I wanted to be like an empire of a person. I wanted loads of money and loads of credit, and I wanted to create loads of businesses, and I did do all that. And so it's probably an element of me being like, maybe I can rest now.
You did that. And also at times it didn't make you that happy.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. And actually the things that did make me happy were enduring, you know? Like the thing that makes me the most happy about my book is being able to have conversations and meet new friends. Like we perhaps wouldn't have even connected had that not been the case. And that's so exciting that we get to chat and be nerdy about food and culture. And then similarly with morning and evening, like, okay, it pays my bills, it makes me happy, like I enjoy the work, but also being around all these like weirdos that we hire, their minds, they're so in the armpit of the internet, and they're in like the crevices of culture. And when I'm around them, I feel like so alive with stimulus and ideas and references. I feel like what an honour that that's my job, to get like stuffed full.
And that you've been able to create this space for them as well.
That if that is my legacy, fine by me. That's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you think the wilderness of Wales has helped you? Is it nature itself that has grounded you more?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I resisted that.
Yeah.
Like, we were living in New York. I had no interest in moving to Portland. We moved for my job. Rue, my husband, was like so excited. He's like super into nature, the outdoors.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was a bit like, it could be anywhere. Like, as long as I'm going to do this job, I couldn't give a fuck where we're going. But
Yeah.
when I got there was this sort of slow undoing that happened when he like forced me to go camping on the weekends. You know, there was no cell reception. No one could reach me.
Yeah.
We would like cook together and have conversations that we wouldn't if the TV was on or I was on my laptop. And suddenly
Yeah.
I felt like weirdly like calm.
Yeah.
You reach this soporific flow, I think, when you're away from all the screens.
Yeah.
And you actually feel like you can actually have a conversation and like do something simple, like cut a vegetable that you're going to cook really badly over fire.
Yeah.
And now being in Wales, it's kind of interesting. He pushes me a lot. I'm grateful that I'm married to someone who is like so about like permaculture design, rewilding. Like he
Yeah.
has all these principles in his head that I dismiss when he talks to me about
Yeah.
them. But then when we're out walking or foraging, I do feel like peace. I feel peaceful, and it's annoying, but it's true.
Yeah.
Like it does feel amazing, even though I resist it.
Yeah. And also magical for your daughter.
Yeah, I think it is really special. I've thought often about, oh, she can't go to the Tate on the weekend, or we can't take my friends in New York. And actually, the life that she will have somewhere where we're surrounded by trees and peace, like what a privilege to be like safe and like surrounded by nature in that way and grow our own food. Like that is such a lovely thing to do.
Self-sustaining.
Kinda.
Yeah. You do speak about fullness a lot, and we
Yeah.
reference the word full a lot here too. And I'm kind of obsessed with this idea of fulfillment and can we ever reach it? And I want to know what it is that makes you feel you're most full.
It's funny because you're right. I write about that a lot and the different ways one might reach it.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that makes me feel full is my understanding that that is an impossibility for me. I feel calm knowing that that is not reality for me.
Yeah.
I think yearning makes me feel like alive
Yeah.
and happy.
Yeah.
And so fullness, if we're saying fullness is like peace and simplicity and fulfillment and like ascension, I like that is not anything I will ever achieve. I feel like a realism in that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like negative, but I just find that sobering, slightly nihilistic acceptance
Yeah.
that that's an apex I will never reach, filling.
Yeah. Okay. And it ends up kind of just satiating.
It does.
The kind of desire to constantly
Yeah.
push.
Which is what eat bitter means. It's about that enduring bitterness, not being something that we swallow down, but it's about understanding that that's just a material of the fabric of life.
Yeah.
It should always be in us. It should always be present. And I think we're in this place now as a society where we like to kind of like numb or bat away or edit away things because everything is horrible and horrific.
Yeah.
And so we kind of hide in sugary denial.
Yeah.
And try and, we want to feel like aligned with ourselves and we want to feel like successful and like we're reaching our potential. But I don't know, I just think it's kind of goth of me, but I kind of love this like knowledge that is just unrealistic.
Yeah.
And like if you meet yourself in your ugliest,
Yeah.
then that's when you will feel full.
Yeah. Yeah. And just knowing that this is it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's enough.
More and more I just kind of like, you keep doing your thing and there is no end.
Yeah.
And there is no like huge moment
No.
of kind of like explosive, as you
Like,
say, apex,
no.
like this is it. You'll be at the top of that mountain and you'll be like either thinking, shit, this is what I always wanted and
That's
it's
what's
not what I want anymore.
That's happened to me multiple times. I was
Yeah.
like, once I make all this money, I'll be really happy. Once I'm really healthy, I'll be really happy. Once I have a baby, I'll finally be really happy. Like you always, it's that, isn't it?
Yeah,
But it's almost like once you embrace that constant state of yearning is actually being alive, and aliveness is like an honor. Like
and
to have
aliveness
that
is enough.
Yes.
Aliveness with curiosity
Yes.
and desire.
is filling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the place you want to exist in.
Yes, yes.
You don't want to exist actually at fullness because
Yeah.
fullness in that sense of kind of lethargy.
Yeah, exactly. But also I think contentment is like a cuddle, but that's like short. That's short.
Yeah,
It's just a one-off. It's
fleeting.
fleeting, exactly. I don't know.
Because I sometimes just find like pure contentment just in like one morning I'll wake up and I'll just be like, I feel so good. And then 3 seconds later I'm like, okay, no.
That was nice.
That was nice. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I hope you find a comfy way to sit.
I'm like,
hold on.
kind of makes you want to go like this, like a little girl.